Hi again, wrestling fans, and welcome to another exciting, don't know what's going to happen, wonderful edition of AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Go home Ringside Wrestling before our big event this Friday night. Keep that in mind, Friday night this week, because we're not going to run against Wrestlemania. So it's a big wrestling weekend. So you can come out to Mount Airy Friday night, join us for the big show. A lot of things scheduled to happen there, but a couple of things are still up in the air. I am Mad Matt Carter, being joined by AIWF Hall of Famers Brian Danzig and Reagan. Rick Diesel, Commissioner Rick Diesel, is actually down in Durham with the AIWF Mid-Atlantic Steel Cage, assisting at another promotion show, and he may or may not join us. I don't know. But that show was scheduled to start at 7 o'clock tonight. So I don't know. Generally, cage matches go on last. So he's probably going to be there for a little while, but hopefully he will be able to join us. Brian, Reagan, how are you guys doing this week?
Doing good.
We're good.
All right.
Watched a little NWA before the show.
Modern NWA or old school NWA?
No. 88.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Sullivan and the Varsity Club against Barry Windham. Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham were going for the TV title.
Yeah,
I can't remember what belt.
Would have been TV in 88. Mike Rotunda won he won the TV title from Nikita Koloff in January or early February of 88. And then Nikita disappeared because that was around the time that his first wife was really sick and right before she passed away. So, yeah, I remember that. 88 was the last year of Jim Crockett Promotions. They sold to Turner. I think the deal was went official when they actually signed the papers in September, I think, but ownership actually changed on November 1st. So, yeah, 88 was an interesting year. Dusty was getting a handle back on the booking at the time, and they had a lot of interesting things going on. When Barry Windham joined the Four Horsemen, I still remember being just floored by that, and so if you're watching it in chronology, the match happens. It's the rematch from the Clash of Champions, Barry Windham and Lex Luger against Arn and Tully. And the match
they were setting up for that match on this show.
Yeah, and so that's awesome. That turn, oh my goodness, it was so crazy.
I have an old school crush on Barry Windham. I'd like to go back in time. So,
well, you were not alone, because according to Ric Flair, Barry was quite the man about town back in those days. So keep it light for our younger listeners, right? Get your mom and dad to explain what we mean.
Yeah, when the time comes.
Yeah, but anyway, oh mercy. So, yeah, good stuff. I go back and do film study all the time in the 80s, and but I've been doing 1994 here lately, and I am up to Slamboree 94. It's got the match that I'm getting ready to watch next is Tully Blanchard against Dory Funk Jr. And it's the Legends match, the second match on the card. So, and that's been real interesting to see how WCW had started to transition under Bischoff's watch. You know how they were starting to. There's talk of Hogan coming in. Vader and Flair had a couple of good matches. That was at the height of William Regal at the TV title with Sir William. Yeah, it's good stuff, I think, as far as in-ring action. Yeah, real hard-hitting kind of stuff. I forgot what a rough wrestler Steve Regal was in those days. Every time he would cover somebody, he would give them a crossface. So when they kick you out, they would have to push against his
forearm right in their face. Yeah.
Yeah, and to this day, when I see somebody cover, even if it's like AIWF or WWE level, when I see somebody cover and do that stiff arm across the face, I'm just like, yeah, make that kick out hurt. Yeah. So anyway, I guess we'll jump into the slideshow here. We got a lot to get to, especially with I'm reading on social media some interesting news about regarding injuries and that type of stuff. I don't know what in the world's going on actually, but anyway, can you guys see the slideshow?
Yes.
All right, so welcome to AIWF Ringside Wrestling for March 26, 2023. So I'll post on social media that the last Monday Nitro aired on this day back in 2001, if you guys remember that. So that was interesting. I had been so long stopped watching WCW by that point. I just, I wasn't sad to see it go, honestly. It was in such a rough state, but nonetheless, we're on Instagram. You can search AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling and Diesel 24/7. We're also on Twitter. It's not listed on the screen, but for those of you listening, you search at AIWF _mid, MID.
Yeah,
at
that's it.
AIWF _mid. And you can follow me on Twitter as long as you don't put anything about politics up there. I'm at Mad Matt Concord, just for your information. And here we go. The big show, Friday, March 31st. Tickets are $9 for the floor, $6 for the bleachers. But in Veterans Park, there's not a bad seat in the house. Just about all of the stars from the AIWF Mid-Atlantic and some new faces coming around. But interestingly enough, this little piece of information came to us, Brian Reagan, just believe on Friday, or it may have been yesterday, that Drex Dyer has been hired by Kevin Phoenix Cochran III. It's not personal, Ty Tyson. The quote is here: Cochran paid me a lot of money to bleed you out. If I win the title, it's just a bonus. Man, this is really getting ugly and escalating quickly between Ty Tyson and Kevin Phoenix Cochran III, is it not?
Yeah, it certainly is. He's, he wasn't hiding his disdain before, but right now he's actually amping it up. I mean, he's just obviously trying to, in the career of Tyson, Tyson has completely embarrassed him by making his plan backfire on him. He thought he was putting him out by putting him in the ring against Jack and the current at the time world champion. He thought that was going to do Tyson in, but he ended up walking out of the match with the title. So he's furious about that, and so now he's bringing in hired guns to take Tyson out.
And we've seen Drex Dyer before, but I can't remember when it was. Was it at the anniversary show or this year or last year? I've seen him before, but I just can't remember when or where. But I remember that
I'm
name.
not sure.
I can't remember.
But,
if somebody, I don't know if y'all are watching the chat, but if somebody watching the live feed on Facebook knows when he was here last time, you can help co-produce the program and let us know. Yeah. Fan participation hour. So I think this just occurred to me as we're sitting here talking. Maybe Kevin Phoenix Cochran III is not taking the right route here, because Ty Tyson he likes this hardcore stuff, the extreme stuff. He grew up watching ECW. So I think with Ty Tyson, like, ECW was the first wrestling he saw when he was a little kid, sort of like Brian, you and I and Reagan probably saw Jim Crockett Promotions first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what we always go back to as our favorite, because it was our first. But I think that strong ECW influence on Tyson makes him really dangerous in these type of situations. Because the last match he had with Benny Conley, he said, hey, let's just turn this into a no DQ match,
right.
And that's his cup of tea. If he if I'm a wrestler these days and Ty Tyson wants I'm getting a world title match with Ty Tyson and he offers up that no disqualification bullshit, I'm like, no, we're going to have a classic catch as catch can 2 out of 3 falls British rules match or some shit, because I think that would throw him off more than this, hey, I'm coming to make you bleed to death. And he's like, oh, okay.
But yeah, you're right. If Kevin Phoenix Cochran III's plan was to simply take the title, off of Ty Tyson, then you're right. He would bring in a line of technical wrestlers. Not to say that Ty Tyson can't do that, but his specialty is the brawling and the hardcore. He can do wrestling, but that you're right, that is his specialty. But he's not just wanting to take the title off of him; he's wanting to put him out of wrestling. So that's why he's bringing in these brawler hardcore guys.
And it looks like Drex Dyer has a reputation for those kind of matches. So Kevin Phoenix, whatever the hell his name is now. It looks like he's bringing in somebody he thinks is going to be able to match Ty Tyson's violence. So we're one-upping on it.
It'll certainly be very interesting. So, folks, if you're going to sit ringside Friday night, make sure all your shots are up to date and come on out. No, I'm just kidding. It's liable to be bloody. So, just know that going in. But the fans of Mount Airy are used to that. They know that you're going to probably see a hardcore match at some point, at least once a month. So, another interesting development that's happened. This poster came out last week too, with Kay Holiday on it, with the quote, "I'm going to knock Mickey Fulp out and pay someone to wash his nasty hair," which led to quite the hilarious Instagram post. If you've not seen it.
I did see that. I did like that response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
because Mickey Fulp's hair might be a little wild, but it's not nasty. He keeps it clean. He just has a nice big fluffy head of hair. It's nothing nasty about it. So I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Yeah, and Mickey, you enjoy that while you got it now, because about 20 years from now, I know where we all grew up, and you just got that genealogy, brother, that's led you predisposed to be a little slick on top before it's over with. It's even happening to me. I'm just having a good.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah,
let it grow out and let it flow as long as you can.
Yeah. It just at some point it just stops coming back. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Sure
but anyway, the interesting thing about this is Kay Holiday on his social media today, I saw, was reporting that he had suffered an injury at a show over the weekend and is not going to be able to wrestle for a while. So I don't know if he's going to be able to make it Friday night or not. He said just kick Mickey Fulp. Knock Mickey Fulp out. That doesn't mean he has to wrestle a match. He could just, catch him in the parking lot, which is something that's happened before, in Case and Kane. There is precedent for that. I think Rick Diesel had Terminator X hit by a car at a TV station one time. Don Carson hit Rick Diesel with a car at a TV station one time. So anything can happen, folks.
They stole Craig Pittman's car in a parking lot.
They sure did.
It was a rental. It wasn't his. Sure.
Where did you guys go anyway? I don't think we ever found that out. Y'all just drove off, but you came back and wrestled that night.
We brought it back. We didn't want to catch a charge.
Right.
We brought it back, but we just went around the block.
Yeah. I remember that. That piece of footage. I'm trying to get Rick Diesel to send me that so I can put it on the YouTube page. But I remember right after that happened, when we showed that clip on MATV Thursday night. And do you remember the big young guy that worked there? He was like an ex-football player, and he did their sports corner show.
Yes.
I think his name was Mark.
I remember. Yeah.
When we showed that video, he's standing back in the booth at the monitor. And when you guys start stomping Craig Pittman, he starts jumping up and down and yelling like he was a little kid. He loved that. He thought it was the coolest thing he'd ever seen. So anyway, so Kay Holiday, we'll see if he can show up in the other match we know of that is happening. Casey Fox is going to challenge Clara for the Mid-Atlantic Women's title. Their match was cut short at the last show. This time, Fighters Club banned from ringside. Casey Fox is a different person than when we saw her before. She is lean, mean, slick, and quick, and has a whole new offense. And she really looked like she had Clara off guard, if you ask me, in that match before, even though it was short.
Oh yeah, yeah. This I think she really caught Clara off guard. I know that she didn't think Casey Fox was there that night, so it really threw her off her game. It'll be interesting to see what happens when she can plan on when she knows who her opponent is going to be, and to see how well she fares against her, and the not only the not actually having the help on the outside of the Fighters Club, but the psychological effects of being used to having your backup and then knowing that they're not there.
I'm excited about this one because I believe Clara can hold her own, and I'm ready to see her hold her own and make a name on her merits, not on the Fighter Club's merits.
But yeah, I agree. I think she can take Casey Fox on her own with her abilities. I just don't know if the fact that she's used to having that backup, and then going out there and in the back of her mind knowing that she doesn't have the backup, I don't know if that's going to have a negative effect on her and throw her off her game, and she may walk out of this match without the belt, and Casey Fox may be getting her title back.
The only thing that worries me is that Clara, even with the Fighters Club banned from ringside, what if Clara is able to finagle Dalen into refereeing that match? That would
That's
be
what
a
I
problem.
was wondering of who the ref was going to be that night. Because if it is Dalen, I mean, Casey Fox is going to lose whatever upper hand she might have gotten with Fighters Club not being out there.
Yeah, because he won't count Clara out. He has proven that, you know. And look, we all know he's partial to the Fighters Club. We all do. So I would just ask the matchmakers, just don't put him in that situation, because every other match he referees, he calls it right down the middle. So
Right.
you know he's going to show bias. He cannot resist it. I think he's afraid of, physical torture if he doesn't. But, still, he referees everything else right down the middle. So I would say just, try and not assign him to that match.
Well, I would say the only way he would be assigned, it would be the work of Kevin Phoenix Cochran III.
Mhm.
Would be behind that, because anybody else would know not to put him as the referee. But if it does happen, it would be him using his influence to get the official that he wants in the match.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. You'll have to come out Friday night and check it out. Again, tickets $9 for the floor, $6 for bleachers. Bell time is at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. And you're going to have a great wrestling show on Friday night and still have your whole weekend ahead of you. So it's fantastic. It's Wrestlemania weekend. You guys know that. That's why we're running the show on Friday night. So just hoping to see you guys turn out. Again, bell time 7 p.m. So you still got plenty of time to get there after you get off work. So come up and join us Friday night. That's this Friday, March 31st at 7 p.m. for AIWF Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. And this will be our last show before we get geared up for Spring Jam on April 15th. So looking forward to that too. That's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of big things happening next month.
Yeah.
All right, let me take a time out, pay a few bills. This show doesn't seem as wild and out of control without Rick Diesel. We're having very
I know.
Odd, right?
Very
It must be a coincidence.
very orderly conversation here.
we only got off topic at the beginning, not in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got to remember, I almost forgot, I got to do the promo spot for the cats. So don't
Yeah, I got
forget
my
that.
cat shirt on.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. Well, let me go ahead and speaking of getting in stuff, let me pay a couple of bills. First off, our latest sponsor, Premier Auto Detailing. And we always say, hey, we can make that old jalopy look like it just rolled off the showroom floor. You can call 336-883-5722 for more information. That's 336-883-5722. And not only do they do individual services, you know, if like we talk about, you know, you got your cousin's pickup that's been on blocks for 6 years, but you finally got it running, got some wheels for it, and you want to clean it up before you take it out to town, well, you can call Premier Auto Detailing. They can help you with that. If you've got fleet service work, especially like if you own a business and you've got work trucks that need to be cleaned, they can do that kind of stuff. If you have a used car lot, this is right up your alley. These people can, so you won't have to hire full-time employees. You can call Premier Auto Detailing. They can do fleet service work for you, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, you actually might be able to save some money by reaching out to Premier Auto Detailing. But again, for those of you who are just individuals or like me and just have a difficulty keeping a clean car on the inside because you're just too lazy to vacuum the thing, Premier Auto Detailing can help you out. 336-883-5722. That's 336-883-5722. Teased Creations Custom Apparel as our other sponsor. They can do custom t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and tumblers, similar to what you see me here drinking with here, although that's a Charlotte Motor Speedway when they're not sponsoring us. So I'm going to put that back down and talk more about Tees Creations Custom Apparel. Yep, they do it all. They've also got, you know, designs on their website that you can check out. They can do license plate covers too. You know, for those of us who live in North Carolina, we only have to run a rear plate. So you can always put a custom one if you've got a place for your front plate on your vehicle. You can see one right there. Second picture down on the right, Tristan Ty with the cow with the flowers. I don't understand. The girl has an obsession with cows, but teescreations22.com. That's Tees Creations, no apostrophe, just tscreations22.com is the website that you can reach out to contact them, or you can check out their Facebook page at Tees Creations on Facebook.com. That's Tees Creation. There is an apostrophe with that one. And you can check them out on Facebook.com. Let's see. My wife has a shirt from Tees Creations. Reagan's got one. Just
I got
two.
two. I got two from them. Yeah, very good work, and they hold up really well in the washing machine. So
see, that's important because a lot of times you order these shirts from these websites that do these custom jobs, and believe me, I found out the hard way being burned on wrestling shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are extremely low quality. You know, I mean, you know what? I'm not going to get into where I got the one. I would just, you know what? If you got any questions about where not to order t-shirts from, walk up to me at a show and I'll tell you all about it. I'm not going to put
Me
it on
too.
public.
I have so many that I've got from another place that they wash them 2-3 times and then the picture's gone.
Yeah, I know, and that drives me absolutely crazy. I mean, you know, I will say this: if we're gonna downplay some place that sells wrestling shirts, let me tell you something. If you order a damn t-shirt from Jim Cornette, it's high quality. It's thick material. The print stays on. So we're not talking about him. I just want to make that clear. But there's other places that you can order wrestling t-shirts, and they're not so good. But Tees Creations are good high quality. It's good high quality shit, man. You know, and so we encourage you to check them out. You know, and if you do have an issue with any of the print or anything, just reach out to them. This is a family-owned business, man. They'll help you out, you know, and make things right with you. But teescreations22.com is a website. Be sure and check them out. And if you'd like to advertise with us, it's real cheap. It's real cheap. $10 a month for a read, just like you heard from Premier Auto Detailing and Tees Creations. $10 a month. Now, what we do is every now and then we'll take a week off. Like next week, we're gonna take Wrestlemania week off, right? Because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna run against Wrestlemania. You know, it's just dumb. And so, we're gonna take next week off. So if you advertise with us, you get 4 reads for $10. So if we take a week or two off, like if we go out of town, like the summer vacations coming up in the next few months, That does not impact you one bit. We're not going to bill you for a full month if we miss 2 shows or miss 1 show. So you get 4 reads per $10. Okay. So it's $10 a month. And if we take a week off, it does not impact you whatsoever. All you have to do, if you'd like to get in touch with us, we can do video commercials as well. $30 a month for those. Or if you just need, like, if you want to promote your indie show 1 week on our program, that's $6. You know, you can't get out of Starbucks for $6 anymore. So, you know, come on over, see us. If you run a small business, you do taxes on the side, which you run out of time on tax season. But reach out to us, $10 a month, and you can advertise with us here on Ringside Wrestling. Easy for me to say. I'm sure that's really encouraging. You want to spend your money with me. We are live on Facebook on Sunday nights. We are on Instagram. We archive the show on YouTube, but that's got a lot of other wrestling matches on there. And in the description on all the YouTube videos that I'm able to, I always list the contact information for all our sponsors. So that information will be out there forever. So even if you sponsor us for a little while and then go away, guess what? I'm not going back, you know, over into 150 YouTube videos and taking out your ad. It's going to be there. So it's really a lot of bang for the buck. We're on all your audio podcasting platforms: Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and of course the AIWF Network on Roku. Would like to say this. We'd love to have some more people join us on the audio side. I'll just say that. So please download it, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. It really helps out a whole lot. Stopping short of begging. That's what I'll say about that. But our audio numbers are not that great. Thank you to everybody that watches on Facebook and YouTube. Those numbers are fine, but we really could use some support on the audio side. So if you like to listen to our conversations, but you'd like to listen to it going down the road, you can do that. It's wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Brian Danzig, I have a firm belief as we go into WrestleMania weekend that it's every red-blooded American boy's dream to someday to grow up, get big and strong, and be able to kick their father's ass. And that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania coming up this weekend. I don't know how stoked you guys. This is one of the matches I'm really looking forward to. Ray finally got tired of putting up with crap from Dominic on Friday night. Dominic told his own mother to shut up while she was sitting at ringside. It's all kinds of family drama. Ray finally punched him and said he accepted his challenge. I did not think that anything like family business could get any more squeamish than SummerSlam many moons ago when Dominic was
I was just getting ready to say that.
Dominic was on
the Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, social worker judging who got custody based on a match outcome.
Yeah, it was actually a ladder match. The custody papers were in a briefcase at top of the ladder. So Dominic was on the line in that match, and I didn't think it'd get any more weird, but it got a little weird about 10 years ago when CM Punk and Rey Mysterio were feuding, but it got really weird this time with Dominic joining up with Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest and that bunch. And he even wears his hair like Eddie Guerrero now and does the frog splash as a finisher. And he has said on TV multiple times he doesn't want to be like his dad. He wants to be like his Uncle Eddie. Which
I'd rather be like Eddie.
Yeah, well, I know Eddie is probably looking down on this, laughing maniacally at this whole thing and enjoying this because, you know, if Eddie was still with us, I think he would be at Dominic's side and be in the judgment day, you know, without a doubt. Because this is just freaking great. And has a lot of emotion. I mean, Dominic, if you listen to the live audience, man, when he walks out there, he's got some genuine heat with the crowd. They hate his guts. And so I'm really looking forward to this. So talking about WrestleMania a little bit tonight as we move forward. So what do you guys think? Thoughts, opinions, emotional outbursts? What do you think? Father versus son, finally. I don't think we've ever seen this before.
Well, I think that that it's a good strategy of Dominic's. It's a good way to get out from under the shadow of your father. That's something that a lot of second and third generation wrestlers have had to deal with, and a lot of them, some of them are able to do it and shine, and then some of them crumble under the scrutiny.
I mean,
It's like, you know, you're not your father. You're not as good as him. What better way to show that you are better than him than beating him in a match?
I mean, I think the closest would be David Flair turning on Ric Flair in WCW.
Oh,
But
I don't remember that.
yeah, that's what happened towards the end, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Gosh, why can't
Yeah,
oh,
because
it's the chair shots to the head that's causing me to forget.
what was the woman that was with
Stacy Keibler,
Mm.
right?
Was it Stacy Keibler?
Was it is it state? Yeah. Stacy Keibler was with him, and I believe that's when they turned on Ric Flair. I just can't remember who he was supposed to be in. I believe in Ric Flair's corner, and he turned on him. That was probably 99, around 99, but I don't know that they ever faced each other. So this is monumental.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd completely stopped watching WCW by that point. If it was 99, so I'm clueless on that. Unfortunately, on once great wrestling promotion, and like I said earlier, it was to the point that when it went out of business, I was glad to see it go. Speaking of old time wrestling, I know the guys are modern wrestlers, but their roots go back to old timey wrestling, and it just brings joy to my heart to see the son of Wild Samoan Sika defending the world championship against the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. So Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. That's the big one. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, this will be a really good matchup. You talk about guys who managed to get out from under the shadow of the legend that is their fathers, and go even further. These two guys have done it, and did it their way, and so yeah, it should be a very interesting matchup.
Roman Reigns I don't know if you guys saw the clip from Monday Night Raw this past week when they had their confrontation. Roman Reigns told Cody Rhodes right to his face, he made the comment, "You ran out of here when you couldn't handle Stardust. You started your own promotion that you couldn't get over in. And so then you ran back here." To which Cody Rhodes, the only thing he could say to that was, "Well, I increased the likelihood of 100% of the locker room that more people could make more money in this business," which I thought was an accurate statement. That's all you could have to say. But like, this is getting really personal. I think both of them feel really threatened by the other one. Cody's on a tremendous, I mean, he's undefeated since he came back to WWE, which it's only been, with the injury, it's only really been a few months. If you take those months out that he was actually on the shelf when his freaking pec tore off the bone.
That was rough looking.
Yes, it was. I mean, the fact that he got through that Hell in a Cell match and was even able to win it. We said at the time, like, good Lord, the fact that he was even able to get in the ring was a miracle, much less win that match. So, but anyway, and he's going to, his dad came close, but never won the WWE championship or WWF championship at the time. He showed that picture with Dusty in Madison Square Garden holding up the belt. Even though he won the match by DQ, the title didn't change hands. So this is a big deal for Cody. And Roman Reigns is like getting into Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino numbers. He's been champion for like over 3 years now, I think, or getting close to it. Close to 3 years. So, yeah, a lot on the line in this match. And what happens if Roman beats Cody Rhodes? Does that just absolutely crush all this momentum he's built for so many months now, at least since the Royal Rumble? And if Cody beats Roman, is this the end of the bloodline? Have they chopped the head off the snake? It's a lot going on here.
And I think Cody's at the best he's ever been right now.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I think that, you're right. I think it will crush the momentum, at least for this run, but he still has a long career ahead of him as far as Cody Rhodes goes. You know, even if he doesn't win the title this time, yes, it will stop the momentum that he has built over the past few months, but he'll just start again at the bottom of the ladder and get another shot. And as far as Roman Reigns, you know, every champion loses their title eventually. You know, Ric Flair was one of the greatest champions of all times, held the title 16 times. That means he lost it 15.
Yep.
So, you know, it's going to happen if he loses it. You know, again, he has a long career ahead of him, and if he loses it, you know, you can pretty much guarantee that sometime down the line he's going to get it back. So both of these guys, yeah, as of right now, it's very important for both men to win this matchup. But in the long run, they're both going to have really long legendary careers.
Yeah. And this is like one for me personally that's like, it's like I don't want either guy to lose. Cody, for the same reasons that he says, because his ties to the Dream, and you know, he uses the name American Nightmare, and I'd love to see him win the title and just bring this thing full circle. But on the other hand, Roman Reigns is Sika's son, and Sika was one of my favorite wrestlers as a kid, because when he had to wrestle Jake the Snake Roberts on Saturday night's main event, he was more concerned with capturing and putting Damien on a long hoagie bun and eating him than he was worried about the match. And I've said this since that point. You got some people in wrestling, the ones you really got to watch out for are the ones who don't care about winning titles. They're just there to cause chaos and hurt people. And Sika was one of those guys. And I liked Roman Reigns even before I knew he was Sika's son. But after I found out he was Sika's son, then, you know, that fandom was locked for me. And then, of course, the Usos, who couldn't like them, you know, the best tag team in the world by far. They're going to defend against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. So there's a lot going on. But yeah. Here's another father-son match. Austin Theory versus John Cena. Just kidding. But the similarities are so much, though, guys. I mean,
I think John Cena talked a lot of junk about how The Rock would only come back when he was promoting movies or when he had a little bit of a free time in between movies.
Yes, he did.
He spent a lot of time knocking The Rock for that behavior, when all I see right now is the same behavior with John Cena.
Well, and again, it's one of those things where when you're in the WWE, wrestling a full schedule and grinding it out and keeping things going with your career, and then some part-timer comes in, you get that, makes you mad. But then when you get to the level, now John Cena is getting to the level now where The Rock was back then, and now he's doing the same thing, which, you know, again, it's that thing of that's just what you do. And then when you're the young guy, you're mad when the part-timer comes in, but when you reach that level, you're going to become the part-timer.
I just don't hate anybody more than I hate John Cena as a wrestler. I can think of one or two enhancement talents that I hate more, but I hate John Cena as a wrestler. I always have. I always will. I like him. I liked him in Fast and the Furious, but I cannot say anything good. I'm sorry. I just cannot.
For me.
Well, at least you're not flip-flopping. I was going to bring that up next. Like when he was still full-time wrestling, everybody hated him. The internet talked shit about him nonstop. Now that he's part-time and he's retired, everybody loves him. That shows you how fickle wrestling fans are. So at least you hadn't flipped Reagan. I never hated him as much as everybody else did. But, I certainly understand why people felt that way. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's fine. My thing is, I'm not a big fan of John Cena's wrestling either, but it's just one of those things where, I mean, he's obviously talented, or he wouldn't be at the level that he is. Just what he does doesn't appeal to me. And so, and there's people who I like that don't appeal to other people. And so, and he seems like a really nice guy. He does a lot of work for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and he seems like a really genuinely nice guy. And he's a good actor, and so, personally, I have nothing against him. Seems like a really nice guy, but just his style of wrestling just doesn't appeal to me.
Right. Ain't your cup of tea, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
I just hate him. I'm not going to go into a bit. I've never, ever in my life, ever wanted to watch him wrestle.
Even in the Thugonomics days, when he used to be the battle rap.
Even with the chain and the rapping and he does a lot. The kids love him. That's all I'm gonna say.
If you want to see some early bad guy John Cena, go on your Peacock and go back and watch SmackDown from like 03. 03 was his really breakout year, and check out some of the battle raps he did. I didn't like him at first either, but if you wear anything with Wake Forest black and gold on it, I'm gonna immediately be your friend. And so he walked out one night wearing a Tim Duncan jersey, and so I was instantly like, oh, okay, I like him now. So got to start pulling for Cena.
I might be the bigger, to use a term, the bigger wrestling mark of the people that are in this conversation. So I wear that proudly. I used to have an Austin 316 shirt, the blood from a stone, and my friends called it my blood from a mark shirt. So
oh well, we're all marks, we wouldn't be in the business.
Exactly.
That's what TR Superstar told me one time, and he's exactly right. All right, and one more we're going to cover real quick. This is one that's got me really interested. The last time we saw a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania, I believe it was Shane McMahon and The Undertaker, and Shane nearly fell to his death in that match. He lived; he's fine, just so you know. But I don't think we're going to see it in those type of shenanigans in this. This is probably just going to be, well, it's WWE, so it's not going to be a bloodbath. If it were 15 years ago, it would be, but not this day and time. But I still think it's going to be a pretty brutal fight. This feud has been simmering since right after WrestleMania last year, when Finn Balor took the Judgment Day away from Edge and kicked him out of it. But Finn Balor's been around for a long time. He's not been around as long as Edge, but this is certainly not like rookie versus veteran by any stretch of the imagination. Both these guys have got a lot of experience. Cornette says Finn Balor's bland. I agree. I've never thought he was that exciting or entertaining. He's a great wrestler. Edge told him in the spooky promo last week to bring out the Demon.
Yeah, the Demon is much. I prefer the Demon more than I prefer Finn Balor. So
yeah, it's almost like, why do both? I mean, I guess he has his reasons. Only breaks it out on special occasions. I'm not really sure, but it's just, the Demon is such an interesting looking character and just in persona that I don't know why he would flip back and forth. I say
probably because you don't want to put all that paint on every night, I would think.
Right, but again, then don't do it at all.
Right.
That paint makes you a different person.
Right. It's like don't. It's like if Kiss, like you went to go watch them in concert, like back in their prime, and like you didn't know when you were going to see the concert if they were going to be wearing the makeup or not. I mean, how disappointed would you be if they just came out wearing just plain clothes and no makeup, and then when you were expecting the whole show.
Well, that actually happened in the early 80s. Remember, they
Yeah.
ditched the makeup.
Yeah, but they made the conscious decision to stop doing the makeup and just stop doing it for a really long time, and then later on went back to it. But it wasn't like a back and forth. Like, you just never know when you come and see us. We might be wearing the makeup or we might not.
Yeah, you're right. They did give everybody ample notice. You knew what you were getting when you bought the ticket.
Exactly. Yeah. You knew after that point they were not going to be wearing the makeup. So if you went to see them, that's on you.
I like that album.
Well, I like a lot of their songs they did after the makeup era. Here's one that's generating a lot of interest. Charlotte Flair is going to be defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley. They met 3 years ago at WrestleMania during the pandemic. Had a hell of a match. I mean, it was amazing that so many of those guys were able to put together good matches in a damn empty, barn with a bunch of TVs set up around the ring. But they pulled it off. But Rhea Ripley's come a long way in those 3 years, and she says she's ready for Charlotte this time. I think she's ready for Charlotte this time. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think like you said, this is a completely different Rhea Ripley from 3 years ago, and I don't know. As good as Charlotte Flair is, I don't know if she's prepared for what she's going to be stepping into.
And Rhea Ripley's in a lot better. She's always been in good shape, but she is jacked now. So
she's bigger.
I think that makes a big difference too.
Yeah, she's not at China levels, but she's getting there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if she should ever get that jacked, but but she's big girl and in the right way. I mean, she's she can handle most of the guys in the dressing room in WWE. So Charlotte's got I think they're about similar on height. If Charlotte's wearing heels, I know she's a little bit taller than Rhea. But when they were fighting a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, looks like their height's about the same. Charlotte's lanky. She's got the reach on her and got longer legs. So if it's a power match and Rhea can keep her close and just kind of smash her into the ring over and over again, I think she'll be all right. But Charlotte's a slippery girl, man. How many times have you seen her just getting her ass beat to death, her extensions coming out and floating all over ringside? I've seen that happen in person before. It's quite hilarious. And thinks she was going to get beat. And the next thing you know, she sidesteps something, figure four into the figure eight. Next thing you know, the bell's ringing. I mean, she's no slouch either. That's for sure.
Well, she is her father's daughter. We've seen Ric Flair do the same thing, get beat up for an hour in a match and then pull it out at the end. So, she's learned from the best on how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and she said in her promo this past week, she will always be Ric Flair's daughter, and she doesn't care what anybody has to say about that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's her dad. No matter what comes up, he's still, he's still family.
And she's the only child that was successful. So.
Well, that's kind of painting with a broad brush. I mean, I don't know what David does for a living now, but he made successful in wrestling.
In the ring. I'm talking about in the ring, not. I don't know personally. I mean, like in the ring.
Yeah, he's doing just fine in his personal career now. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but I'm sure he's fine. But
I hadn't heard from David in years.
He tried his hand at wrestling, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. He did have a very interesting time with us in Elkin, North Carolina one night when he wrestled Ricky Morton. We had to get him as a replacement for Bobby Eaton. And I'll never forget, he was just so humble and friendly and was helping out. He wasn't that way when he was in front of the audience. He was quite the dick when he went out of the curtain. But it was funny. He's sitting there going like, this was 2008, I think. Yeah, I think it was 08. It's sometime between 06 and 08, right? And so we still had the big long CD box. Remember that we kept everybody's music in? It was the same thing, but we had added maybe another box full of CDs and cassette, and some people were actually still using cassettes even in 08 for their music. And so David is like, man, I don't have any I didn't bring any music with me. And I was like, well, you came to the right place. I said, because if you look in those two containers right there, there's all kinds of music. Just pick something out, man, that you want, and we'll play it for you. And he's like, okay. And so he starts going through it, and he's looking through there, and he's like, wow, you guys do have a lot. And about that time, in comes AC and the Myrtle Beach crew. And we're like, saying hello to him and everything. And Stevie walks in, and he looks at David Flair, not knowing who he is, and says, hey, man, are you running me a music tonight like that? And David looks at him and goes, I can, like that. And he goes, here, play this for Pestilence. Like, and just hands him a CD and goes in the dressing room. And we're all standing there like, oh, awesome. And so I gotta tell him. I was like, he's like, no, but I was serious, man. David looks at me. He said, I'm serious. If you need me to run music, I can. I said, we might get you for a couple of matches, but thanks. and so I walk in there to Stevie, and I was like, hey, man, do you know who that guy was sitting at the table that you told to run and gave him your CD? Like, and he's like, no, who's that? He's new, isn't he? Like, and I said, yeah, his name is David Flair. Like, and the color, I saw it leave Stevie's face. It turned ghost white. Like, you just, and I was like, he's like, is he mad? And I was like, no, it's cool, man. He's actually said he wants to run music for a little while tonight. And like, but it was so funny. So funny. Yeah, just when you think you're a big shot, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that Stevie didn't know who it was pretty cool. But you know, he had just grown out his facial hair, so when I first saw him, I didn't know who he was either until I got close to him and saw his face. You know. But let me pay a couple more bills real quick, and then we'll talk about the cat rescue and a few other things. Our first sponsor was Branch Management. They are a tree service that operates in the Mount Airy, Surry County area of North Carolina. They can help you with branches that are maybe too close to structures, normal pruning, complete tree removal. You don't want to do that, but sometimes it's plumb necessary. You know, sometimes trees just get wild and out of hand, or they get damaged in storms, and they got to go, man, or they're going to smash something when they fall, and you don't want to be liable for that type of thing. They offer very competitive rates, free estimates, $100 referral bonus. They're here to serve you and to help you out with all your arborist type needs. You can reach out to them at 336-648-9282. Again, that number is 336-648-9282, or their alternate number, 336-320-8994, 336-320-8994. For more information about the tree service. Branch Management also does landscaping, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, just general handyman type of contracting services as well. Sorry, folks, there's no referral bonus on those services, but you can call 336-648-2487 if you need some handyman work done around the house, even if you need some leaves raked up and hauled off. We can do that for you, although it's not really that time of year. But if you look outside and you still got leaves on your ground from last fall, it's time to call Branch Management to help you get that cleaned up. 336-648-2487. That's 336-648-2487 for all the additional services. And of course, last but not least, our most delicious sponsor, and I still have not taken that corn dog off because they don't sell those no more. Tease Treats.
Or Justin Flash.
Best concessions in wrestling. Well, I mean, he could bring his own corn dog and she could drop it in the deep fryer for him. I mean, I'm sorry, I just tried to come up with ideas, right?
A can of chili and some cheese whiz.
Yeah, that's all you need. Well, she's got the chili there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
the chili's good too. I had that this past weekend on my fries.
Oh yeah, I know where she gets it, but I'm not gonna say that on the air either. But it's plum delicious. It's some of the best chili I've ever had. But they are a food truck service. They operate out of Mount Airy, but they do have multiple trucks. If you need food truck service for like football games or cheerleading tournaments or, street festivals, whatever, they're here to help you and can do that. We'll be happy to help you. You can call them at 336-755-8204 for availability, and where you can find them, 336-755-8204, or search them on Facebook.com. Tease Treats, the best concessions in wrestling. Prove me wrong. I don't know where they'll be this week, but I know they'll be at the wrestling show on Friday night. Pretty sure they're going to be there. Don't hold me too long.
I'll have to say, I'm a funnel cake connoisseur.
Mhm.
And she has the best funnel cakes I have ever had in my entire life. And I've had funnel cakes everywhere.
Yeah.
So they are the best.
Yeah, because it's the funnel cake. It's a lot harder than you would think. It's easy to make it too dense,
Mhm.
too greasy. It's like you got to hit it just right for it to be a good funnel cake.
And she does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I muted myself. So let me let's do our fight for the damn cats real quick here too. I like that Rick Diesel said that night, and it is just stuck in my head. I even said it to the lady that came to the show the last time. They actually sent a bunch of representatives to the show this past time that we had wrestling. I don't know if they're going to be with us Friday night or not, but it was a great thing. TinyTigersRescue.org. They are a cat rescue service in Surry County, North Carolina, which is where Mount Airy and Elkin is at. They help stray and feral cats because most shelters cater more toward dogs than they do cats. People forget about the cats. It's not like people hate cats. Well, some people do, but those people are dumb. But I understand that if cats were bigger, they would kill us. But that's just in their nature. Because the big cats prove it. I mean, look, have you ever known anybody owning a tiger ending well?
No.
So
even Tiger King.
Yeah, even Tiger King. But they didn't have it. That wasn't the animal's fault.
No.
He tried to get Don Corleone to commit a murder for him. So,
yeah, that's why I have a rule. I have a rule in my house: no animals that I can't take in a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
that Mike could take me in a fight. It's not. We're not having it.
Yep. No big cats. No chimpanzees.
Right. No big dogs. If a cat gets mad at me and swats at me or bites a little bit, I can just knock it off the couch.
Yep, exactly.
But we don't knock animals off the couch. We don't do.
Well, if it bites me.
Well, we don't want to.
If anything bites me, be it human, animal, or otherwise, it's getting a right cross. I'm not, and we're not advocating cruelty to animals here, but you gotta keep them in line. You don't just let your dog go and start humping everybody's leg, right? So, but this place really does a great job of looking after these stray cats, man. They take care of them, they feed them, they water them, they get them ready for adoption if they can even be adopted. But if they can adopt them, they just hang on to them. So, and they need cat food more than anything, is what I've been told. So if you want to drop off a donation to them, you can, or you can go on their website here, TinyTigersRescue.org, and click on donate and then make a donation. You can make a donation using PayPal, or you can send them a check to Tiny Tigers Rescue, P.O. Box 207, Toast, just like you eat in the morning, Toast, Toast, North Carolina, 27049. That's Tiny Tigers Rescue, P.O. Box 207, Toast, North Carolina, 27049. If you live in the area and just want to take by a thing of cat food or whatever and help them out, you can reach out. You can go to the contact us section of the website. And contact about fostering, contact about what? Contact donations. Yeah, or you can fill out this form right here. Doesn't look like it allows you but 10 to 15 characters. So let's see.
That's almost as short as my cameo I got. 15 characters.
Was that the flare thing?
Yes. That's why it was so crazy.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, it was hilarious there.
And so you can just fill out your information and say, where are you located? I want to drop off some cat food. And yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Like, sometimes you'll buy like a bag of cat food and your cat just doesn't like it,
Mhm.
or maybe they don't have a good reaction to it. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's just something that doesn't agree with it with your animal, and you can drop it off. We've done that before with other organizations. We have a cat that has a grain allergy, and so we had just bought food, and we found a group to give the food that we had just bought.
Mhm.
But I know that a lot of groups like this and others the best thing to give is cash, because again they may have animals there that have dietary restrictions, and somebody may bring a big bag of food, but then there may be cats there that can't eat that certain kind of food.
Yeah.
And so with cash they can get exactly what they need, or you may donate food and they need something else.
Mhm.
So yeah, it is, there's nothing wrong with donating materials and food and toys and stuff like that, but normally cash is usually the best thing, because they can get exactly what they need at the time.
And when I got my shirt at the show, I paid through my PayPal. So
okay.
I got my shirt that way. So, they accept the PayPal at the shows too.
Awesome. Well, so that's some good insight from Brian about the cat food. And yeah, I imagine that can be kind of tricky. Say if they get a cat surrendered by, a little old lady that had to go into a home, and she made the mistake of feeding the cat canned wet cat food, and now it won't eat anything dry, which happened to my Aunt Babs. And I remember telling her, I can understand why that cat's giving you a dirty look. You should have never gave it canned cat food. I mean, it's like, I think her cat hated her after that. But yeah, don't ever make that mistake. Don't do it with dogs either. You start them on gravy train, they better die on gravy train. But anyway, so they might have some finicky animals that get surrendered, because that does happen. They do have animals that get surrendered to them. They don't just ride around Mount Airy, with a net trying to catch stray and feral cats. Sometimes people can't take care of them, or, if you like Rick Diesel, the cat got hit by a car and crawled up onto his porch, probably because it had the cat food there and was trying to get something to eat. And so, it's a need, man. There's a lot of too many stray animals out there. Nobody listens to Bob Barker or Drew Carey. So, it's just a big
Spay
problem.
and neuter.
Yes. Spay and neuter. So real quick, before we get out of here, I wanted to, so that's tinytigersrescue.org. Let me give you that website again, tinytigersrescue.org. So a couple of other things that are happening at WrestleMania. The Miz is hosting. Nobody cares. Ray and Dominic.
We're going to talk about the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we can. This is a match.
I'm just excited about the Great Muta. So
yeah, I am too. But I'm going to be at wrestling that night. So this 4-way tag team match, like all the teams in it, but just I ain't a big fan of these multi-man matches. There's too much going on. They're doing another one with the girls. We hadn't even filled out the last team there yet. And here's an interesting match. I was hoping it was going to be one-on-one between Gunter and Sheamus, but Drew McIntyre's in there. So that ought to be an interesting match for the Intercontinental title. If it's anything like the Clash at the Castle match, It should be brutal. That's been talked about as like match of the year last year. If you have not seen it, I would encourage you to go on Peacock, look for WWE Clash at the Castle, and watch the match with Gunther and was it Sheamus or Drew? I think it was Sheamus, but I can't remember. But check it out; it's awesome. Edge and Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar and Omos. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fucking train wreck.
I cannot stand. That's another one I can't stand is Brock Lesnar. But
I don't mind Brock, but I don't think Omos is ready for this. He's still
I don't know anything about him. Is he from some? I'm gonna say I don't know much about these.
Omos is from a foreign country. I can't remember which one. Nigeria comes to mind, I think. But
Is he a wrestler or is he like a?
He is as tall as a tree. He is like El Gigante size. I've seen him in person. It's unholy how tall. No. He's way more athletic and a lot better shape. But he's new. He's an attraction, you know. And I don't want to compare him to Haystacks Calhoun, but he does not have. He hadn't been wrestling long enough I just don't think he's that good yet. Give him 5 years. And if he stays in shape, doesn't get hurt, he'll be fine. But, maybe Brock can give him a wrestling lesson at WrestleMania, help him out. But I don't think Omos has a chance, snowball's chance in hell of winning that match. I don't know how I feel about this. I've never really cared for Lita that much because she was always feuding with Trish Stratus, who was my favorite back in the day. Now Lita and Becky literally stole the tag team championships from Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and now somehow they are having a 6-man here, and Trish Stratus in the same corner with Lita. Just to me is just the most awful, most unimaginable thing that I think could have happened. I don't know why Trish has a soft spot for her now, just because they had all those legendary matches back in the day. You know, one time she was happy when Lita broke her neck.
My favorite Lita thing is when she got inducted into the Hall of Fame and she started telling a story about Arn Anderson, and they kept like going to Arn, and you could tell that there was something in that story that he didn't want to be told because he had that look on his face while she was talking like, do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, you could just see it in his eyes. Is she going to tell all of this story? I sure hope not.
So either way, we got a big 6-man as Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish go up against Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. And I have a feeling that Becky and the Legends are probably going to win this one. Just don't feel good about Bayley and her group's chances. But interesting photo here. Io Sky is actually smiling here. So we know she can smile and not just grin in sadistic glee when they're breaking somebody's legs. So that's nice to know. Io Sky can actually smile, but maybe that's superimposed. They could have done some work here with the graphics department. I don't know, because I've never seen her smile on TV unless she was hurting somebody. Here's one that I'm real interested in. Talk about full-blown Great Muta. If you ever read anything about Asuka, she idolized Great Muta growing up. And when she wrestles, you can see the Muta style, although she was not trained by Muta. The Muta style in her. When Muta wrestled his last match, the 2 weeks after that, she came out with the paint on, and she's using the mist again. And so Asuka has lost at WrestleMania. I think, and I hope, and I got my fingers crossed that this is her year, because we talked about Great Muta going into the Hall of Fame. He's absolutely one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I love him when he came into WCW. And so by fashion, as soon as I started reading about Asuka and how she idolized the Great Muta, I became an instant fan of hers, been a big fan of hers since NXT when she initially went on the undefeated run. But she has not had good luck at WrestleMania. But Bianca Belair is no slouch either, man. She's from Knoxville. Oh my God, that was a wrestling territory at one time. Track star in high school and college. The woman has unbelievable strength and leaping ability. I mean, as fat and pudgy as I am, if Bianca Belair set her mind to it, I bet she could body slam me. She is strong. You know, And she's got that bull rope tied into that hair that she can whip people with, although she doesn't do that much anymore because she's not cheating as much as she used to in NXT days. But Bianca versus Asuka, Muta going into the Hall of Fame. Stars seem to be aligning, I think. Muta's going in the Hall of Fame. Asuka's got her big title shot here at WrestleMania. Could the karma for Muta going in the Hall of Fame come over and help Asuka achieve victory finally at WrestleMania?
Yeah, let's hope so. I would like to see that too.
Yeah. But so yeah, Muta's going into the Hall of Fame. Let's see. Oh yeah, and this one, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn taking on the Usos, Rikishi's kids. And
No, I'm hoping for a turn.
I think Kevin Owens is going to turn on Sami Zayn.
Oh no, I think an Uso's going to turn.
Oh, that might happen, but I don't trust Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. They've both proven to be snakes in the grass over the years, especially over the last 9 years since they came into NXT and WWE. They turn on everybody. So I don't know. I can't wait to see what's going to happen though. This has been some compelling damn storytelling over the last year, and I can't wait to see what happens. Can't wait to see it. And looks like it's a regular tag team championship match, no DQ or anything like that. So who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here's one that we haven't covered. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Logan has turned out to be a really good wrestler. He held his own with Roman Reigns. He's a great athlete. The WWE fans seem to hate him. I don't know why. I mean,
because he was terrible to his pet pig.
He was what?
Like, was abusive to his pet pig, Logan Paul.
Was he? I didn't know. I didn't find out who this asshole was until about 6 months ago. So don't get me wrong. I have nothing against him or his brother Jake. If they can make money on pay-per-view, more power to him. I mean, I've heard his brother speak after fights, and he just has a positive message for kids, encouraging them, no matter how poor you are, you work hard, you can make it. I think that's a good message. I don't know how many poor kids actually hear that, being as he fights on $75 pay-per-views. So he got knocked out the last time he went out, but his brother Logan in wrestling, he said he was abusive to his pet pig. What in the world did he do to abuse his pet pig? Feed it bacon or something?
What did he do to it? I have no idea.
I
heard about it.
I just know that he had a pet pig and he didn't treat it well. I don't know something. And he also went to a forest in Japan that is, it's an area that has a lot of like people who commit suicide, and he went there and made a joke of it. So I don't like him. In not a Mark way. He's a terrible human being. Right. And I hate that he's being given this push in the WWE when there's children watching, when he is an absolutely trash human being. Yeah, like he went and videotaped the dead people in the suicide forest in Japan, and went to a dead body and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do some research on Mr. Logan Paul.
I've seen him in the ring, and he is a really good athlete. But I agree that he shouldn't be on. Good athlete or not, he just shouldn't be on the platform at all, just because he's just such a terrible human being and just a bad influence just in general.
All right, so send your hate tweets to Logan Paul, not AIWF Ringside. So okay, I didn't know. I'm gonna have to look into this. I didn't know all that stuff about him. I just heard he was an annoying social media person. But
he's trash. He's trash. So that is not my Mark opinion. That is my human being opinion on him.
Yeah, I wish he were a better person, because I'm somebody that I think if you can do it, then more power to you. I'm not one of these. Mm-hmm. You have to wrestle for 5 years before you can make it to the big show. You have to pay your dues, whatever. If you can do it, you can do it. And he has the athletic ability to do it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's not my issue. My issue is just him as a person.
Because I mean, I didn't have a problem with David Arquette, and people could say, there's a celebrity who mooched his way into wrestling, but he could hold his own. So, but yeah.
Well, I don't think it was his idea to end up with a world title. I think that just kind of
No, I don't either.
think it was
I don't
somebody
either.
else's idea. But anyway, so Logan Paul, human trash, according to Reagan and Brian, is going to wrestle Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So well, good luck to everybody. I don't know, man. I feel like I have totally missed the bus on this whole Logan Paul thing. I didn't know any
Just
of
do
that
a
kind
little
of stuff.
research, you'll see.
Yeah, I kind of avoid digging too deep on anybody that I watch on TV because I always seem to be disappointed by some exploit or some trashy thing that they've done. It's all like the whole saying, never meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed. And so I'm leery of that for the
There's
same
only
reason.
one that I've ever met that I wasn't disappointed. And that was
Who's
Ricky
that?
Morton. Ricky Morton.
Well, yeah, Ricky Morton's a special guy. What about Buddy? You met Buddy Landell. He didn't disappoint you, did he?
Did I meet Buddy Landell?
I'm pretty sure you did.
He did, yeah. Wait, what? Is this a story that my brain doesn't remember?
I don't know. I was the party boy back then, but Buddy was around he didn't stay around long, but he came around frequently, like late 90s, early 2000s. He'd come down. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I remember him because he had a broken arm while he worked. No, hell of a worker. I don't know that I met him personally, unless there's something I don't remember.
I can tell you a story about Buddy that I cannot I'll tell you about him when we went to West Virginia to help JT Sledge with a show that Buddy was on. I'm not going to tell it on the air here though, because I'm just not putting it out there in public, and Buddy's no longer with us. It's nothing bad about Buddy, but it's a good story. Like, how I kind of got close with Buddy when I was one part I will tell you on the air, when I was a young wrestling announcer, here I'm appearing on TV, man. I'm 23 years old or 21, 22 years old. People in my hometown of Martinsville recognize me on the street, man. I got all kinds of strangers speaking to me wherever I go, man. I started thinking I was kind of hot shit, as most young announcers do. But again, a different day and age. We weren't doing the internet. It was linear TV, man. People saw you on TV and would approach you in public. And I started thinking, man, I'm pretty hot shit, man. I'm pretty hot shit. And so I kind of became a little smarmy there for a little while. And some people would probably argue longer than a little while. But Buddy Landell fixed my wagon, because one night we were at a show and he was cutting a promo for a match he was going to do in a few weeks with us. And he was like, he looked at me and I'm holding the microphone, old school, holding the microphone for him. And he's talking about how good and great he is and everything. And I jerked the microphone back to my face and I went, yeah, in 1985. Like that. And stuck the microphone back in his face, and he looked at me and he squared up. And just for a fleeting second, I thought, I'm about to get knocked out. He gave me the old 2-finger poke in the chest like that. And he hit me so hard, you heard it thump in the microphone. And I could feel it right here in this part of my sternum. I know exactly where his fingers were. And he looked at me and he goes, I'd rather be a has-been. And he poked me again and said, than I never was. And he went right back into his promo. And after that, I was humbled, humiliated, and never said nothing like that to a wrestler again, ever. So that and getting put in a dress is what set me straight in the wrestling business. And I can tell you there's some young announcers out there that need to get set straight too. And that's not a personal knock, but if you think you're hot shit, you need to be humbled, because you're not. And wrestling announcers are a dime a dozen. So just know that. And if anybody needs more mentoring, come see me. And you know who you are. I'll be glad to help you. But anyway, that's about all I got, guys. I got any final thoughts who else is going in the Hall of Fame this weekend besides Muda?
Is it Rey Mysterio?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio's going in there. That's what makes the dominant
Woman,
thing.
oh God, that's why I had Stacy Keebler in my head. She's going in the women's, right? Or is it Tori Wilson? One of those two is going in over China again. I wish I can remember. Oh, it was somebody that was terrible.
Somebody that was terrible.
I think you're right. I think it is Stacy Keebler.
Let's see. God, why can't I tell you too many headshots?
I'm looking here. Andy Kaufman's going in, which I think is long overdue. Yeah, I mean, I know Andy didn't wrestle in WWE, but he tried. Vince Sr. turned him down, and that's how he ended up in Memphis. And that was, I have said to this day, I don't know if Andy Kaufman faked his death or he really died. But if Jerry Lawler is sitting out there doing commentary or sitting at the table at WrestleMania doing the intro show, and 80-year-old Andy Kaufman came out of the crowd with a wooden chair and smashed it over his head, I would not be surprised. Because I am not convinced Andy Kaufman is really dead. And
I wonder if Jerry the King will be able to induct him. I don't know how well he's doing now after a stroke.
I heard he's doing better, but I don't know if I don't know if I'd risk that. He just had a stroke. He'd have to travel all the way out to California.
Yeah.
And they're doing the Hall of Fame ceremony Friday night. But the only ones I see listed here are Andy Kaufman, Muda.
Yeah, Stacy Keebler.
Stacy Keebler.
Yeah. She was the first one announced.
I don't even remember that.
I just don't even know. Like, yeah. But WWE veteran Stacy Keebler becomes the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2023.
Wasn't she married to George Clooney for a while?
Was she? Yes, I think she was.
Married or
dated
him for a while. I don't know if they actually got married.
That's why I had her in my head. David Flair was with Tori Wilson. Then Stacy Keebler was in my head because I guess of this.
Right.
But yet again, no China. And there's been plenty of men that have done. Sean Waltman was in one of those videos too, and he made it into WWE's Hall of Fame. So
yeah, he actually co-starred with her in one of them.
Yeah, co-starred with her. Yep. And so I think it's just a shame. She was, I don't know. It's just beating a dead horse talking about why she should be in there, but I don't think she ever will be. I don't think they'll do it.
She will eventually.
Yeah, they just did the biography on her. I think that, as Vince gets further away, from being in total control of creative and everything, I know he's there now, but I think that eventually it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that's a Vince issue. Because when Triple H explained why, if we put a name in a Google machine, it'll do this. This comes up and we don't want kids seeing that. That sounded like Vince McMahon talking.
Yeah.
But if anybody's wondered about that movie, I've never seen it. But a friend of mine told me not to watch it because he said the two words that he associated with a night in China was weird and gross. So I don't know what went on that video, but for somebody to tell me that, use those two words, made me want to stay away from it, and I have successfully.
I have seen it, but it's just
is it weird and gross?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So that would be a yes.
Hogan has that Bubba the Love Sponge one, and said terrible things about other. Never mind. Never mind. I could go all night.
Everybody
double standard.
Yeah. Well, you see that a lot. I think life is full of double standards. So, but anyway, that Bubba the Love Sponge thing happened before Hogan went in the Hall, or after Hogan went in the Hall of Fame. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
it
never watched that video either.
I have. Not what I wanted to see, brother.
That's some stuff that, like, when I read on TMZ, like the play-by-play of it, just in writing, I was like, oh yeah, we won't be clicking this link.
I like bad wrestling. I also like to research terrible other stuff. So not for pleasure, but just, I don't know. I like terrible stuff.
I watched Faces of Death when I was a kid. So, I mean, I'm not immune to that either, but there is a limit. And usually if it involves some type of weird sexual act or mutilation, I'll stay away from it because that stuff just gives me the willies.
They're making a new one of those.
Huh?
They're going to make a new Faces of Death, I believe.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
are they? Okay. Well, hopefully they can make it, make it realistic enough that a 14-year-old will think it's real. So, good luck. I wish them the best and many profits.
See, I'm an irrelevant a whale of irrelevant knowledge.
Yeah, but I'm excited now, but see, it'll never make theaters, so you'll have to watch it at home. It would be more fun to watch Faces of Death in a theater, just to hear everybody's reaction. Because I can tell you, I went to see Cocaine Bear a few weeks ago, and that was awesome. I hadn't heard a crowd hoop and holler like that since Borat. And that's saying something. Because when Borat came out in 2006, I wonder what would happen if they released that movie now. Twitter would probably explode.
probably.
All right. Well, we're done, I guess. Guys, Rick Diesel was not able to join us tonight, but like I said, he's had a show in Raleigh with the Cage. I think we held up pretty good tonight. Not too bad, huh?
Yeah, not too bad.
We've done worse. Mowing.
Yeah, I just want to say, everybody to come out this Friday. It'd be a great way to kick off a great weekend of wrestling, watching some live wrestling, and then to get you hyped up and ready for WrestleMania.
Yep, absolutely. Great way to kick off the weekend. We're looking forward to it. This show is going to be great. I cannot wait. I hadn't done a Friday show in a long time. The thing about Friday shows is great is you come watch the show on Friday night, then you get home, even if you got a long drive, you go to bed and you get up the next morning, you still got the whole weekend in front of you. It's awesome. So Friday night shows are great every now and then. I wouldn't want to make a habit out of running them, but hey, it's good. So we will see you at the matches Friday night. 7:00 is the scheduled bell time. You know us. It'll probably be closer to like 7:09, 7:12, something like that. But we'll be there. We'll have a great show for you. Come on out. Tease Treats will be there. $9 for the floor, $6 for the bleachers. And Veterans Park doesn't have a bad seat in the house. So we look forward to seeing you at the matches. Brian, Reagan, any last comments before we get out of here?
No. Just looking forward to this Friday, and can't wait to see everybody there.
All right, awesome. So we will see you at the matches. So for Brian and Reagan, I am Mad Matt Carter. We will not be here next week. We're going to take WrestleMania Night 2 off as well, but we'll be back with you in 2 weeks, and we'll be discussing all the craziness going on around the world of wrestling. So thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our YouTube page, AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Modern and classic matches galore, as well as the Roku channel, AIWF Network. That's what you need to look for there. So I guess that's going to wrap it up for this week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. And until then, so long for now.